Hi guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about the second fight camp that Eddie Hearn's put it on as part of his first couple shows since moving to the zone. I was going to make a week one fight camp, but it just came and gone really. Like I didn't take no notice of it. So Kid Gallagher, we'll go from top to bottom, and then we'll talk about the card quickly. Kid Galahad put on a clinic against Jazza Dickens. You would put, I personally would put Kid Galahad in the top five featherweights in the world. Um, he's uh, he's just all good. He just good at what he does. And yeah, like I say, he could have won at least 10 of 11 rounds, in my opinion. Excuse me. And yeah, it was a one-sided fight. There was never going to be an interesting fight. But he does what he does, and he wins the IBF featherweight title. Lots of matches on the line. I mean, Lee Wood might get elevated to the WBA super title, so I'll be a legit champion. And um, you go over Josh Warrington, Lara winner. But I do feel like if Lara beats Warrington again, people are gonna avoid him. Certainly British fighters. Um, and yeah, there's literally not much to say about the main event. Neither for Wardley and Webb. I thought the stoppage was premature. Um, yeah, he did sag against the ropes, but I think at least administer account, take a look, analyze his condition, see if he's glassy eyed, and move on. Stop it there, or or let it carry on. That's the only two decisions you go on. But Nick Webb came out strong, aggressive, tried to do a little bit similar to the Eric Pfeiffer, but Fabio Wardley isn't Eric Pfeiffer. Fabio Wardley is very athletic. He's 235, which is I think that's his second highest weight. So he usually comes in at the high 220. He has come in low 220s, but I feel like mid to high 220s is his optimum weight, to be honest. But yeah, it was just such a weird fight. There's like Nick Webb in his stoppage defeats, which he's had three of them, and all three of his losses. It's like he dismantled so quickly because in a space of 10 seconds he was on the front foot and then he was on the back foot taking punishment on the ropes. And like in the Dave Allen loss, he was comfortably winning that, and then in the latter end of round four, Dave kind of upped his tempo of work and got him out there. So he gets dismantled very quickly. Poor defense really on the ropes. But Nick Webb is still a solid English level guy that can give people problems, with his power. I mean, his power is less effective because he can't hold a shot himself. So, do you know what I mean? And I don't know when Nick Webb really goes from here, to be honest. I mean, you could say he could be a good opponent for people on the way up. Maybe it's a bit harsh, but yeah, maybe just for Nick Webb to get a couple of wins and see what he can do at English title level again, perhaps. Um, Alan Barbich and Mark Bennett, this was fight of the night, to be honest, without a shadow of a doubt. Mark Bennett was as tough as they come. I mean, yes, his weight did play a factor. I mean, being 60 pounds heavier. Um, and for the first three and a bit rounds, you'd say that was a war pretty much. But you could see Bennett like fading, like he was fading early on. But every time he looked like he was getting a looks like he was gonna get nailed. He just came back and hit Barbich with one or two punches. Barbich came in at 210. Um, like we all know, he's not a heavyweight. He's really a cruiserweight. Um, but he's a fun guy to watch, and I some people don't admit it because of his lack of skill, and you got some fans who think, oh, he's not that good, blah blah blah. But listen, for what level he is at, he's alright, you know. And that fight was keep getting him guys who are relatively well matched with him. You know, that's going to be hard because you want some guys who are going to be well matched with him. But then you most it's a heavyweight division at the end of the day. You're not many at all have got the fitness and not the fitness, sorry, the toughness of Mark Bennett. Um, and so it's going to be really hard to match him. But then overall, I think that if you can survive the first couple of rounds and spoil his work and that, like like someone like David Price, like I think if he survives the first couple of rounds, which we know he's quite easily, he hasn't got the best punch resistance, but if he can survive, he would turn that fight into like the Dave Allen fight where he's just pinging him a range all night long. So tall, rangy boxers who can box, because David Price can box. He won a bronze medal at the Olympics. Can't hold a punch too well, but like if you give him room and you give him time to work, he's still a great boxer. Um, Johnny Fisher, even though he's at the bottom of the screen, he was the second fight on the main card. Um, yeah, it wasn't a bad performance. I mean, it was a bit dirty of him to punch Whittaker after he was down, and maybe had affected Whittaker, but he's looking alright. He's cutting the ring bet, Johnny Fisher, and he's a work in progress. He was known more for his rugby than his boxing. When he was younger, coming up through the university levels. But uh, but yeah, he's a work in progress. There's not much to say really. Um, Ebony Bridges and Beck Connolly. I didn't think Ebony looked as good as she did against Shannon Courtney. Even though she stopped Beck Connolly, only people up at super featherweight have been able to do. Um, and she is easy to hit, but she is quite a powerful person herself, you know. And I think it's her bodybuilding background that enables. But that, she's quite strong, even though she's really small. She's strong, you know. And I don't know how hard it is for her to make bantamweight, but like without being too rude, you have got people like Misha Tate who find it hard to make weight just out of a woman, the body is of a woman, and maybe that's the same for Ebony Bridges. If she didn't have a body like a woman, I mean, I know it's not real, but like she could do super fly, I think, or fly even, because I think she's about 5'1" or something. She's not that tall. But listen, if she wasn't what she was, she would never fall in as she does. So she's gonna be a person that you can mix on cards, put her on an undercard, because of her following she has. Um, Aki Fias and Baldespino, I didn't really see that, I gotta be honest, because of the Lions tour. I was watching a rugby, but 77, 76, and it did sound a close fight. Like, I did have it on, but I was watching a rugby show, just listening to the commentary, which you can't trust. Um, Overall, it was apart from Barbich Bennett, it wasn't a good card. Poorly built. I mean, with three heavyweight fights in a row. Um, it's just poorly built because with three heavyweight fights in a row, and you got people like Barbich who can bang, Wardley who can bang, and Johnny Fisher who you know is gonna get guys out there. I mean, we'll find more about his punching power at the higher levels, but like it's just a poorly built card. If you're if you're gonna build a card like this, you need someone in the middle to fill airtime because last night of the 4.5 hours they were broadcasting, 4 or 5 hours they were broadcasting. They spoke about 2 hours of them, and I'm not even joking, because all the fights were ending quick. I mean, Ebony Bridges of 3 rounds and their 2-minute rounds. Johnny Fisher in 2 rounds, Alan Babbage in 5, and Wardley in 1. It was just a poorly built card, and I know they had pullout of Florian Marco against Prodan, and that'll be rescheduled, but it was a poorly built card. If you and like I say, I just said it. It's not their fault they get pullouts, but excuse me, it's not their fault they get pullouts. But like you gotta have a contingency plan because aside from Babbage, it was poorly built and there was far too much talking there to fill a lot of airtime out. Because the co-main was done by about 9:10, and the main event is not usually told to come in by 10, so we had to take that into consideration. So it wasn't a great card. And I'm hoping next week with Buatsi Bolotniks will be better. Um, who is on that undercard? Because I've forgotten, to be honest. You know, Michael McKinson against Ronowski, that should be a 10-rounder. Raymond Ford against Belotti, I don't mind that. And Cash Farouk against a Mexican guy who I think will struggle with a new traffic light system where he'll be able to come over to the UK. So yeah, you got a good mix of fighters on there, but like not great matchups really. I do like Bolotniks and Buatsi. I think it's an excellent fight. So yeah, guys, I'll be back to do next week's review. But in overall, this wasn't a great. This fight camp has not been nowhere near as good as last year. So make of that what you will. But yeah, I'll catch you soon.